These are 10 books that you absolutely must have in your collection, whether you have one or all 10. These are the ones that, in my opinion, are going to go up in value no matter what. Want to know what they are? You're just going to have to stick around. This video is sponsored by PGX Grading Services. Get 10% off your first submission by using the code WeLoveComics10% on your order form. Link in description. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And today, I'm going to point out 10 books that, in my opinion, are must-have books in any comic book collection. These are books that, in my opinion, are going to always be valuable and continue to go up in value. Now, obviously, there's going to be plenty of books that are not in this list because I just wanted to make it top 10, so it won't be too long of a video. But if you have a book that you think is an absolute must-have, please put it in the comments section, because especially if there's new collectors watching, they're going to appreciate any and all information. Now, a lot of these books are going to be Bronze Age and Silver Age. Obviously, we're not going to talk about things like, the first appearance of Superman or Batman, because the average person just cannot afford them. So these are books that are going to be on the expensive side, but not on the out-of-reach side. And before I start, don't forget to wait until the end to see who is the surprise subscriber shout-out. And speaking of which, it's my pleasure to do the special shout-out. This is for a new subscriber and a new comic book collector. His name is Ethan. I'm just going to say Ethan. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to post the last name. But he's 8 years old. He's the son of a subscriber that has a channel, Daz the Key Chaser. So please check out his channel if you haven't had the chance. I want to give a special shout out to Ethan. So hey, thumbs up to you, man. He watches my videos. He just started getting into comic book collecting. So let's show the love. Let's show the support, because we want everybody that we can to see how much collecting comics is awesome. So shout out to you, Ethan. Hopefully you enjoy that. Please leave a comment in this video so I know you got it. All right, so with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is give 2 honorable mentions. These are more modern books. One of them is Copper Age, but these are books that are still going to be affordable, but they're starting to get out of reach. But I think these still have unlimited potential as far as comics are concerned. So the first one, an honorable mention, is New Mutants 98. Obviously, that's the first appearance of Deadpool. If the second movie goes strong and this character continues to go in the direction he's going, this book has so much potential. I was fortunate enough to buy 2 of these books for cover price the day they came out. It took decades before this book became relevant, but now it is. So I think this one still has a lot of room to grow. Always make sure you wait for deals. Don't just buy the first one that you see. Make sure you price around and try and wait for a deal. But if you could pick one up pretty cheap, get it while you can. This book, raw, is going to cost you around $200 to $300. I think that's still a good price. I would get a raw copy and take your chance unless you get a super deal on a graded comic. All right, this is another one. I was fortunate enough to get cover price back in the days when it first came out. I've been telling people about this book for years, and now it's starting to show its true potential. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 300. Again, this is another one of the bonus ones, and this is not part of the top 10, but this is definitely an honorable mention. This is the first full appearance of Venom. I was fortunate enough to get this autographed by Todd McFarlane back in the 90s in New York Comic Con. It was graded a CBCS 9.0. This is absolutely a book you have to have in your collection. If you got it a year or 2 ago, it would have cost you about $100 to $150. Now it's going to cost you $250 to up to $400 for an ungraded book. So it's getting up there. But again, I think this still has potential, because even if the Sony book movie does not go well, this is still one of those characters that obviously you could see anytime they do a Venomized comic cover and stuff like that, people grab them. So this is a modern age villain that is a book. You got to get it. All right, so those are the honorable mentions. Now, here we go with the top 10. We're going to start with the lowest to the highest. Okay, so the first one we have This is Fantastic Four, issue number 48. Again, this is another book I've been telling people for years to get. Price has gone up, but this one still has plenty of potential, especially with the potential acquisition of Fox Studios from Disney. Once you see either Fantastic Four or one of the two major characters in this book, expect this book to eventually get out of reach. So you still have time, even though the price has gone up. I bought these years ago, so I still got them for decent prices. But Fantastic Four issue number 48 is the first full appearance of the Silver Surfer and the first cameo appearance of Galactus. Another honorable mention would be 49, because that's the full appearance of Galactus, but this is the one you want if you had the choice between the two. I bought this at a 5.0 for about $325. Now that book's going to cost you about $450 to maybe $500. That still is, in my opinion, inexpensive. So to me, low grade is better than no grade, so get what you can afford. But this is, in my opinion, a must-have in your collection and will continue to rise, because once they get a movie, forget it. That book is just going to skyrocket. All right, number 9. Another book that has so much potential and has so much room to grow. This is Detective Comics number 359, which is the first appearance of Batgirl. Considering how many female roles they are putting in movies and TV shows these days, it's just a matter of time before she gets the spotlight, even if it's just, a cameo in a movie or something like that. I think eventually she'll get her own movie. I mean, there have been discussions, but who knows with Warner Brothers and DC these days whether something will actually come out or not, or be good. Fingers crossed, let's hope so. But this book will skyrocket if a movie comes out or a TV show where she's in it. This is a book it's a 3.5. I paid about $168 for this book. Expect to pay in the $200 and up range, even for lower grades. But again, this is still a book. Definitely get it if you can. Wait for a deal. All right, number 8. This is another book that is a must-have. This one, I would wait a little bit before you purchase it unless you could find a good deal, because with the movie's popularity, this book has definitely seen a major increase in price. So unless you can get a good deal, I'd wait a little bit on this one. Let the movie kind of pass by a couple of months and people get tired of it. But this is a book you absolutely should own. It's another book I've been telling people for years to get. I got this book about a week before the movie, and I only paid $49.50. Now, obviously, that's not the average price on this. Expect this book, even in low grade, to be over $200. But get it if you can. Wait for a deal. They are always there to be found. This, obviously, Fantastic 452 is the first appearance of the Black Panther. This is a must-own, because there's going to be more movies, considering how well the first one did. So the popularity is just going to continue to grow. All right, number 7. This is another one of those books that if you don't have it, please get it while you can. This book is going to continue to go up. And like with the Fantastic Four movies, if Disney does get approved to acquire Fox properties, the first time they put X-Men in, it's my opinion, they're most likely going to do the newer version of the X-Men here and not the original. Who knows? But either one, this book is going to end up being very desirable. Again, this is another book that keeps going up in price, and there's a reason for that, because it's very popular. I mean, you have the first appearance of Storm, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, second appearance of Wolverine, first appearance of Colossus, and you've seen he's been in the Deadpool movies. Going to continue to rise up in value, even, like I said, if they use the original X-Men to start. This book has seen so much potential. Now, when I bought this one a couple of years ago, I bought it raw. I paid about $338 roughly. It came back a 6.5. Expect to spend for a raw copy, even in low grade, about $300 and up. So again, these are pricey comics, but they are still going to go up in value. And remember, wait for deals. And sometimes you got to spend money to make money. All right, number 6. This is one of the newer books. And there have been people that have mixed feelings on this, so I'll leave it up to you to decide. But in my opinion, with Batman Adventures 12, which is the first appearance of Harley Quinn, not in the DC continuity, but still, it's her first appearance. This is such a popular character. I really feel this book is going to continue to grow. And remember, every book started out as a modern book at some time, so there's going to be winners in every different style of comic. So I think this is a book that you can't pass up. I would try and get the best, highest grade as possible. I would not personally get anything under a 9.0 with this comic, because with modern books, you really got to get the higher grades. This one I bought raw. I had it with my eBay bucks a couple of years ago when I first got back into comic collecting, and I only paid around $24 for this book after the eBay bucks at the time. They were giving a lot more eBay bucks back in those days, but it came back at 9.4. First appearance of Harley Quinn. There's so much potential with his character, and again with female characters, this has so much more room to grow. Get it while you can. Expect to pay again, lower grade you're going to spend $200 to $300. Higher grade $400 to $500. Ungraded still has so much potential, but get the highest grade you can get. Wait for a deal. All right, number 5. This is another one, and as you can see, I'm doing DC and Marvel because I want to make sure you see that I love both companies, and it doesn't matter what company makes it as long as it's a good comic to get. This is another one of those expensive books, but this one still has potential to grow. This one, you know, with the TV show, if it continues to have season after season, it's just going to continue to go up. So, this is a very expensive book. It's going to be harder for most people to get it, but even if you can get a 0.5, snap it while you can. This is Action Comics issue number 252. This is the origin and first appearance of Supergirl. 2.5, I spent over $600 for this book. But still, this is a book, first appearance of Supergirl. It just, again, has so much room to grow. She has her own TV show, but I think if it continues to be successful, it's just a matter of time before she ends up in a movie. So I think this one still has room to grow. Again, wait for a deal because you're going to spend a lot of money on this one. Make sure you do your research. Don't just buy the first one you see. There are always deals to be found. I don't think this one has yet hit its peak. Another honorable mention would be the first appearance of Bizarro. I'm sorry, not Bizarro. What's the other guy? Crap. Oh well, I got a brain freeze. So we'll continue with this. All right, so number 4. It's another Action Comics. It's Action Comics 242. I can't believe I'm going blank with his name, but Action Comics 242, another really expensive book, but it's definitely a book that you can get. Please post in the comment section, because obviously I'm having a brain fart at this point, so forgive me on that. But it is Action Comics 242. Just look it up and you'll know the character. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I don't have that book, but I do want it. But again, another expensive book. That character has room to grow too. So sorry about that. But this is another book. This one is going to continue to go up in value. It may take a hit a little bit if, spoiler alert, if Captain America does die in the one of these Avengers movies. I don't know that for a fact. There have been people speculating about that, especially since his contract is up. Always keep in mind, just because a contract is up doesn't mean it can't be renewed. But this is Avengers number 4. This is the first appearance of, the first Silver Age appearance of Captain America. This is one of those covers that's just iconic. It's going to continue to keep going up. But I think if this character does die in the movies, you're going to see a little lull for a little while. That's really the best time to snatch this up, because this came back as a 4.5. I bought it raw, and I paid $600 for this book. So it's another book, again, it's going to be a little expensive. But in my opinion, I would wait until after the Avengers movies, and if he does die in the movies, you're going to see a little bit of a fallback with this one. That, to me, in my opinion, is the time to pounce on this book, because it's just a matter of time when movies do reboots that they will bring him back in one way, shape, or form. Obviously, it won't be the original actor that portrayed it, but they've done it before. They'll do it again. He's too popular for them to let go for too long. Wait for the lull. Snatch this book up. You will not be disappointed. All right, number 3. This is another one of those books based on the Fox-Disney deal. I've mentioned this in other videos, but this is a book that has so much room to grow. Again, another expensive book, but it will give you good returns if you get it early. This is Fantastic Four issue number 5, which is the first appearance of Doctor Doom. I mean, you're talking the first major villain in Marvel's history with the Silver Age comics. I mean, Fantastic Four is what put Marvel on the map. When they have Fantastic Four in a movie, this book is going to continue to rise. I don't know if they're going to have Doctor Doom the first time, which I hope they don't. I hope they build up to that character, but eventually Doctor Doom, if Marvel gets the Fantastic Four, considering the lack of great villains they have in the Marvel Universe right now, when they get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, they're going to have so many new villains to add to their roster that once Doctor Doom comes in, forget it. This book is going to explode. Now, I paid $1,100 for this book in a 2.0, so this is an expensive book, but it is definitely going to reap the rewards because the movies haven't come out yet. It has not been approved yet. I cannot stress enough, if you can get this book even a 0.5, get it. You will not be disappointed. And plus, again, another iconic cover. All right, the last two. These have so much potential. They are going to continue to grow. Get them in any grade. This is a book you have to have. This is a must, in my opinion. The last two, forget it, are absolutely must-haves in your collection. Save up for them if you can. This is obviously Amazing Spider-Man number 129, which is the first appearance of the Punisher. I got this. I bought it at an 8.0. I was lucky enough to buy this right before they announced the TV show, so I spent only $540. What did I spend? Yeah, $547 on this book, graded at an 8.0. That book is now a $1,400 to $1,500 book, so I would recommend trying to buy some of these raw and, you know, hope that you could get a decent grade, but even in a 1.0, you're going to spend probably $300 at this point. There's only been one season of the TV show. They have another season. I'm sure it's going to continue from there. Then it's just a matter of time before he's in a movie. This is another book that is going to continue to go up. Get it while you can. Again, it's another book you should have bought years ago, but it still has room to grow. Get the highest grade you can afford. But make sure, again, you get deals. Don't just buy the first one that you see, because otherwise you're going to regret the fact that you gave away more money, which could have bought another book or two for you. So this is a must-have. And my number one book that you have to have in your collection, this has so much potential. It's an expensive book, but again, not out of reach. This is not a $100,000 book. But this is Incredible Hulk number 181, which is the first full appearance of Wolverine. I was fortunate enough to get this one at an 8.0. I spent a little bit over $1,500 for this book. Make sure you get one with the Marvel stamp. And if they don't mention it in an auction, make sure you message them. Make sure they check it, because it's going to be a big difference in value with or without the Marvel stamp. And I have a video that talks about what the Marvel stamps are, so check that out if you haven't heard about that before. But make sure it has the Marvel stamp in it. Mine does. This, again, is not the first it's not the first appearance of Wolverine, because that's Hulk 180. So that'll be another one of the honorable mentions. Get Hulk 180 if you can't afford this one. That's his first appearance in a cameo. But this book, again, based on the fact that Disney is going to acquire the Fox studio properties. It hasn't been approved yet, so I gotta say, anything can change, so be careful. But the day you see Wolverine in a Marvel movie, the comic book fans are going to lose their you-know-what. And this book is eventually going to get out of reach. I mean, I don't know if it will ever hit, Amazing Fantasy 15 levels, but 10 years from now, that might be the price of what a Amazing Fantasy 15 is now. This is one of those iconic characters. It's an iconic cover. It is a book that everybody loves, and they are not reproducing these anymore. I mean, you cannot get any more print runs. So the older the book is, the more chances of ones being lost, destroyed, or not in the best condition. So I paid $1,500 for this. This is now about a $2,400 book in an 8.0. So again, you're going to spend money. But in my opinion, an 8.0 in another 10 years, especially if he ends up in the Marvel movies, people probably won't be able to get a 3.0 at that point. So this book has so much room to grow. So that is it. I had a couple of honorable mentions. I'm sorry that I totally blanked out about that other DC character, but I know the comic book number, which is Action Comics 242. I'm sure a lot of my subscribers are much more smarter than me and don't have the brain freezes I will have on occasion. But leave that in the comment section. Tell me what you think. I mean, obviously, like I said, since I only mentioned top 10 and a couple of honorable mentions, there's going to be plenty more that I missed up on. I don't want this to be an hour-long video. So if you think there's something that is an absolute must-have, please leave it in the comment section. Now, obviously, Amazing Fantasy 15, Detective Comics 27, Action Comics #1. These are books that you should that would be must-haves. But obviously, most people don't have a couple of $100,000 to be able to afford these books. So I wanted to try and keep it in the realm of possibility. Some of these, again, are expensive. But, I mean, you can get a 0.5 of this for maybe $500 at this point. You know, an Action Comics #1 at 0.5, you're talking $40,000, $50,000. So I wanted to keep it in a realistic price range for the average person, because I'm sure the average person like myself is not millionaires, and they don't have a trust fund where they could just buy every book that they can. So I wanted to try and make it within the realm of possibility. So post in the comment section books that you think I might have missed and think that is very important for other people to purchase. Put a price range, because people appreciate the price ranges so they can kind of get an idea of what to look for. But like I always tell people, please do your research. The more you know about a book or something that you're going to purchase, the less likely that somebody could take advantage of you or you make your own mistakes. If you buy a book raw, don't assume that just because they said, for example, this book has the value stamp in it, don't just assume that it's there. Make sure you open the book and you check. Because if 6 months later you open the book and find out it actually wasn't there, even when they said so, you lose out. So that's your money. Make sure you spend it wisely, and make sure you research what you're doing, and make sure you verify the books that you get. And that's it. So wait until the end to see who's the surprise subscriber shout out. I hope you appreciated this video. I absolutely loved making it. Please give it a thumbs up to show support. Please share this on any channels that you know that would appreciate advice, especially newer comic book collectors. If anybody else wants to make a video like this, it's not a tag video, but if you do make a video sharing your 10 or 20 or whatever you want to put, post the link in the description. I don't mind sharing other people or promoting their channels, because if it helps everybody in the comic book community, we all win. And that's why this channel is not called You Love Comics or I Love Comics. It's We Love Comics. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you appreciated this. Stay tuned until the end. Hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button. Just don't hit the person next to you, because that's not nice. And remember, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. And since this is a long video, I'm going to do a quick zoom.